Ladies and gentlemen, it is now the time for the Steven Crowder. I fucked it up. I burped. Introduction. Nozego. Steven Crowder. All right. Steven Crowder is the epitome of failed comedian who doesn't know what to talk about. I'm going to point this out because to go and fact check his opinions on things or to rein him in with some type of moral superiority doesn't work here. I know the type of person Steven Crowder is, and I know why he creates the content that he does. It gets reactions. I'm not going to say it's wrong. I'm not going to say it's right. I'm not going to give my opinion on him or Dave Rubin in that form. I've realized that if you want to teach people that somebody is a genuinely bad person, you have to appeal to the people who think his actions are good. And you need to frame them in such a way that without disputing the efficacy of his reach, to explain why the underlying arguments that he makes or the underlying things that he says underneath the jokes are bad, like just objectively bad. Because to do this subjectively is for me to shout at a 1.2 million follower guy and not get him to actually snap back at me for... Do you see what I mean? Like, you can't attack these people from the angle of, well, you're just saying false shit, because that's my opinion. I'm a comedian. I can tell racist jokes. I can do this, that, and blah, blah, blah. And it doesn't matter. You gotta go through this a different way. So we're gonna try this. If you're on YouTube right now, please do me a favor, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. It helps me realize that you're watching. If you hate the content and you want to type a bunch of disagreements in there, go do that. But before you do that, hit the subscribe button. What you like to argue on the internet anyway, so subscribe to somebody you like to argue to. Maybe you'll learn something. Maybe you'll be able to post some clips about it onto your subreddit and make fun of me. I don't care. Just do it. Like, what else are you doing? All right. I'm not going to unpack his last tweet. I'm not going to obesity is a heavy cross to bear. For many, yes, genetics play a role, triggering false hunger responses, etc. But just surely as it is unhealthy, it ultimately comes down to calories in versus calories burned every single time. Get help, make a plan, and stick to it. Stick with it. That's effectively what a nutritionist would say. So no, that it's so hard to unpack it. But you would say here at this point, or somebody would say, all right, oops, wrong one. All right, so what did Steven Crowder say that was so bad? That's not the point. It's his framing of the I can't even get the word out. Intellectualism that essentially is underlying fat people are bad. See, but you know that already because you know what fat shaming is. That tweet is not wrong. It comes from a negative person. So I have to grab a negative spin of it. That's just one tweet though. So what's the problem with Steven Crowder? I've been hearing a lot about him. How is he like racist or like, how is he a bad person? That's the introductory. Take a notice. I specifically didn't unpack that tweet because there is nothing to unpack there. That's the point. Go a step deeper. This is a seriously outdated concept. Yes, exercise is important in any weight loss effort, but the nutritional content of your intake is far more important than just looking at calories. Again, calories in versus calorie burn is long dead, dude. It's the fact that we eat a carb-based diet. Keto, carnivore, pick one of those. Carbs are sugar. Carbs make people fat. Even at calorie deficits, eat fat, get thin. Most inflammatory diseases from carbs, sugar. Yeah, there's I said I wasn't going to unpack it, but you see how people just will naturally like attach themselves to unpack that because it means something beyond what he's saying. That's a bad take. It's not a wrong take in the sense that you could frame the argument on that specific point, but you nuance that specific point. Why did he mention that? Okay, I don't know about that because that tweet got deleted. If who to follow after looking at Steven Crowder's page is Turning Point, PragerU, and Joe Rogan, you got a problem. Okay, is it a board?
Do this when Donald Trump did this? Would you have tried to do this when Donald Trump was president?
Definitely not. Definitely.
So did you come here because Joe Biden was elected president?
Basically.
Would you
That doesn't answer. That doesn't. Oh, now we can pick out that. Do you see the framing, the context here? Are you seeing the idiocy? Do you get it? Is it making more sense now? Is it clearer? Do you get where I'm coming from? He's not doing it on purpose, but he's framing the argument as such. What does that clip have to do with like solving the idea of is it a Biden border crisis? Why use the hashtag? Political commentators who make jokes like this and pick up specific clips like this to make a point.
To do this when Donald Trump was president?
Do what? Do what? What is the context of the question?
Definitely.
So did you come here because Joe Biden was elected president?
Basically.
What else is he gonna say? Basically, maybe because he feels like with Joe Biden being president, there are a lot less like ICE people looking to like harm him, or there are less like racists out in like there's so many layers to why people would think that Biden being president means they should come to the country now. Like there are layers beyond open borders that I could get into about maybe the improvement in quality life for immigrants. Oh man, he's passing this bill, that bill. Maybe if we come and like start working and show our support and everything, he'll throw us some better immigration laws. Like there's steps to it. For him to post this specifically, he wants a reaction. And that's what I've been trying to, that's the point I wanted to make about today's segment, is that Steven Crowder is a reactionary dipshit. But it's beyond being a reactionary dipshit because he will literally hide behind the idea of, oh, I'm just a comedian. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I'm mad at you. I'm mad. I'm going to do the liberal pouting thing and I'm going to say Steven Crowder's bad. But I'm going to nuance that. And I want to nuance that a little deeper now. You specifically took that and then had the nerve to, during the entire impeachment / conviction schedule for the Senate, be one of those people that was like, but the Democrats took the information. You know what? I'm just going to stack this up because I've been having to reach with this thing for like a hot ass minute now. Can I put it on here? Are we taking the Final Fantasy thing off the bridge and we're putting it here? Yeah, we're putting it here. Okay, that feels better. Now I could just talk. I have to bend down all the time to talk into the microphone. Oh God, this is going to be like a 40-minute segment, isn't it? Yeah, I don't have to unpack that any deeper. I don't. Like, that's why I wonder when people comment on my stuff on YouTube, I wonder if they realize that I'm just exhausted from having to say the same thing over and over again. Like, if I tell you something, I'm usually not saying it because I don't like a person. Like, I don't go after certain people because I don't like them. They've given me enough reason to assume their position, and that's why I don't like them. I would hate for it. That's why I love having conversations with these same commenters, because I really be wondering, how do you take all the information that I give you in each of these segments and you accurately like look at it and then do not take away the point? Like, you will repeat the points that I've knocked down already in the video in my comment. Like, I don't get you. Anyway, it's one anonymous person talking, so it must be true. And here comes the false equivalencies. Here comes the strawmans. You must be equally upset with the anonymous sources used by the Democrats to justify impeachment, a fake dossier, Ukraine phone call, Russia nonsense. Literally all the same thing in one tweet, but he named it 5 things, claiming to find the fraud and more. All were anonymous sources by alleged one person, but the media was okay with that. Anonymous interview is not enough to form an indictment. Also, please don't believe everything you see on TV. The media are not reliable nowadays. If you look at the surge and capture rate of illegal immigrants, then will show how wrong you are. What does that have to do with the subject at hand? Wow, cool deflection. He was connected to the obvious dichotomy on which truth the public accepts from the media. But the guy took the clip out of the context of an important, like, conclusion to make. Because if you open the context of it, I'm sure it doesn't paint that same picture. And even if it did, you could still look deeper into it. The problem with looking deeper into things is you must end up with a conclusion, whether you want to or not. When you look deeper into things like the Russian, the fake dossier that they made up, Ukraine involvement, this, that, or the other, you reach conclusions because remember the Senate, me repeating the same fucking information again. Remember the Senate committee report? Oh, we did find out that there was Russian collusion. Oh, there was this big push to push the Hunter Biden story, which was another thing that was being doctored up. Like, it's not that I don't accept it. It's that who's presenting it. If the media presents me with information and then I hear a different take on that, I have to get rid of all the noise and say what's really happening. And then I have to come to a conclusion based on what's really happening. Oh God, I'm sorry. I'm not losing my train of thought. I realize that I'm becoming a circle. Like I'm repeating the same things I was repeating back in March. This is bad. That is a bad way to paint this at all. Damn, this struggling immigrant you won't show us had money for AirPods. Does he really have AirPods in his ear? Hold up. Oh, yes, he does, or at least it looks like it. That could be a mask, though. Hey, Mr. Refugee, if I pay you and give you some food, will you say this? Yes, of course. Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. Oh, now we trust mainstream news? We believe self-reported immigrants now, too? Yeah. Again, if I wanted to take this and say it's not Biden's fault, here's how I could take that. You wouldn't be trying to get into the country while Trump was president because he was creating a hostile force that probably would have killed you or worse for trying to enter the country. Now we're trying to be a little bit more humane so more people see this as an opportunity. It is not a Biden border crisis. You are harboring on right-wing talking points. Okay.
Do this.
Oh, he did it twice.
When Donald Trump.
And I'm sure people will ambassador him here. Let's give him a pass to citizenship too. And memory hole the whole thing. Like, I'm so done. Would you volunteer your baby for Moderna's COVID vaccine for science? I kind of want to vote. But see, like, okay, here's another Steven Crowder thing that you could dig into with a little bit of nuance. Not even the idea of the question, because the question is the question. But what is the framing of the question? Would you volunteer your baby for Moderna's COVID vaccine for science? Like, what is he alluding to? Would you volunteer to give your baby up? Like, you see where I can gather the why do you have 3 no's? Are you insane? Hell no, no. Why do you have 3 no's if you're supposed to be like, oh, I'm just a guy who's trying to spread his opinion on the internet. Like, you're begging people to have a reaction like this. Yes, I would volunteer both my children. Do experts tell me it is safe? Might it help save thousands of other people? Am I a Christian? Absolutely. I'm actively trying to get my youngest into a trial. Thank you. Good. Why is this a question? Your poll is idiotic. That vaccine isn't made for infants. Scientists don't test vaccines on babies. Thank you. Most of us have been vaccinated many times. We let them inject us. How is this different? I felt the same. Don't get me wrong, but it was brought to my attention. We all have been vaccinated 10 times or more during our lives. Good point. I'm no lefty, by the way. If it helps saves lives, why not? Liberals are mad about testing makeup on rats, but this is okay. You see what I'm talking about? It's not him at this point. He is a reaction machine. He spurs people to think a certain type of way. They carry that thought into other spaces. It's the same way as if every 1 out of 10 people that come into the stream came into the stream from a Ben Shapiro newscast or live stream. They're going to have that opinion on anything I say, regardless of whether or not it's true or not because of who it comes from. He gathers those type of people. Why does he gather those type of people? Because either he says stuff that they agree with, or the people who watch him can warp what he says into an agreement phase of their own. If you are able to attract that much negativity and people like that, then you shouldn't be doing this. On a moral standpoint, I wouldn't even have to disagree with you, even though most people did make the point for me. I wouldn't even have to disagree with you on a factual basis. I could just disagree with you because you attract those types of people. That's his audience. He's the guy. He's Dane Cook. There we go. Now I remember why I wanted to spend time on him. He's Dane Cook. He's the unfunnier Dane Cook. He's the unfunnier Dane Cook. And I mean, like times 5,000. I vaccinated all of my babies with the vaccines that we already had approved for babies. Someone had to be the first to let those vaccines be used on their kids, and it worked out. Yes, I would. Full-blown adults with 102, 104 fever for days, swollen lymph nodes, temp kidney failure. You want to put that shit in a freaking baby. And yes, I've seen all those effects plus more. I work in a hospital. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. Yeah, I work in a hospital. Ice cream is disgusting and so is chocolate. Reptiles over there are purged. Oh, wait, maybe you do. Maybe you do. Oh, I'm wrong. Maybe you do work for a hospital. She's one of those happy. Like, how do you work in a hospital when you don't believe in science? So many. It's a leading question. I didn't want to. I hate saying things that are just obvious talking points, but okay. All right. Here's what pissed me off about Steven Crowder. I'm running some tests on my dumb heart that decided to grow wrong. Wish me luck. Thanking God for the best healthcare in the world. Nothing like this even remotely exists in Canada. It is insane that doctors let him take the picture, post the caption, do whatever, and they just not about to let him die. Is that harsh? Yes. But here's a few things that we can poke out of this myriad of leading statements. First, I have heart problems as well, so I'm never going to wish death on another person or bad illness or anything on another person because of heart problems. I genuinely feel for him if that's what he's going through. Shit happens. Like, you know, we're born that way. Like, okay. Thanking God for the best healthcare in the world. We do not rank anywhere near number one for healthcare. Like, factually, objectively. Did I not explain to y'all that my tooth was in pain and I couldn't see a dentist and I can't get the thing or the dental implant because it costs too much money? That's like a one-off thing, but like, we do not have the best healthcare in the world. We literally do not. Like, you know that because we're in a pandemic and we can't even shift the system to allow for free. Like, it took us a long time to get like government coverage for COVID related issues. Like, I gotta pay money out my pocket for a virus that like y'all didn't help stop spreading and didn't have a vaccine for it. Like, doctors saved my life and then slapped me with a bill that left me homeless and in debt for my entire life. Oh, just get a better job. Bitch, I'm injured. I am sick. Oh my God, American culture is so weird. Okay, that unpacks that one statement. Nothing like this even remotely exists in Canada. Besides the underlying comment about like picking the one specific place near us, Like, this would have been a funnier argument if he would have said something like, nothing like this even remotely exists in Denmark or Norway or some shit like that. But okay, let's unpack that a level lower. Nothing like this even remotely exists in Canada. First of all, yes, it does. Like, it's a stand-up table. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. You are mocking other healthcare systems while people are treating you. Yeah, nothing like this even remotely exists in Canada. No cardiologists, no EKGs, no hospitals, no germ theory of disease. In Toronto, they be doing bloodletting and prescribing me mercury and heroin for my Hershey squirts. I was diagnosed with dropsy. I don't know how to say that. Falling disease, consumption, and ghosts. He's trolling. He's trolling. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, he's trolling. Anyway, see, I will get off topic with that. Distort bot. I love that shit. Distort bot. My dad had a minor chest pain one day, just minor chest pain. It didn't even last long. Our family doctor got him in for multiple heart tests. He got in quickly, found out it was nothing, and it didn't cost a dime. It's one of the good parts of being Canadian. Your heart should pull itself up by its bootstraps and not use socialist EKGs. Yeah, this looks suspiciously like science. Don't all R's disavow science. Posting literal propaganda created by American pharma corporations. Facts. This seems like a beta move. The alpha move would be to not go to the cuck doctor and tough it out like a man. You would have been triaged for cardiac care quickly in Canada. You could stop with the bullshit about waiting and wouldn't have to worry about the healthcare system bankrupting you. Having to beg strangers in order to live, aka GoFundMe, is something Americans are really proud of. Little do most people know you can actually negotiate your medical bills. What if a bunch of Americans got together and negotiated those rates before treatment? What if that bunch is all Americans? I bet we'll find better things to do with our time than trying to individual negotiate rates with hospitals post-treatment. Like Canada offers, y'all, conservatives just reaching the point. If American healthcare is so good, why do so many Americans die of heart disease? I'm sure you'll be fine, by the way, because only the good die young. Weird how people in Canada live longer if they don't have better healthcare, which is free. It's probably heavily skewed by population sizes. U.S. has a much higher population size, so when Canada does their polls, they have smaller sample sizes, less room for error. I have no idea if they adjusted that for whatever source you're using, just throwing my 2 cents in. Life expectancy is an average across a given population, not a sample of population. There's no adjustment to be made based on the size of the population. The U.S. ranking, as you can see from the chart, is among the lowest of developed countries. Yeah. You're purposely misusing demographic numbers to support your bias. The absolute number of people in demographic loop is misleading. You want the proportion of the population that's similar to demographic use, 65 years. Canada is 16.9. USA is 15.3. Okay, that's weird. Anyway, literal American pharma propaganda. Best healthcare in the world. He went on the Joe Biden trip thing, but then defended Trump for drinking the water. I get it. It's a whole like double-sided hypocrisy thing. If you're going to make fun of Trump for literally shaking his hands while doing that, you got to make fun of Biden for tripping on the stairs because that's what all the libs did. Here's the problem. You shouldn't hate Joe Biden just because Joe Biden exists. Has he said something racist? Has he gone out and attacked people for their religion? Has he gone out and attacked people saying Black Lives Matter is bad? Has he gone out and attacked people saying immigrants are bad? No, that's where the double standard falls apart. I'm not going to pick that one out.
If you aren't upset about this problem, then I got something to show y'all. So for the NCAA March Madness, the biggest tournament in college basketball for women, this is our weight room. Let me show y'all the men's weight room.
Oh yeah, this was a big thing.
Now, when pictures of our weight room got released versus the men's, the NCAA came out with a statement saying that it wasn't money, it was space that was a problem. Let me show y'all something else. Here's our practice court, right? And then here's that weight room. And then here's all this extra space. If you aren't upset about this problem, then you're a part of it. I got
absolutely correct. Absolutely, there's no problem there. The good news is that more and more former men join women's sports. It'll work itself out. That's not transphobia. That's not being transphobic. That's not literally saying something that attacks. That's not hate speech. That's not like this. That's not going against the grain of what people feel. That's not being reactionary. Oh, so we like it when it's like that, right? That's what we want. That's what we care about. That's why Steven Crowder is bad. Now take the beginning tweet about obesity and work your way all the way back down to this one. Who's telling you, who's saying the thing online, and what can you have a takeaway from it? What are the odds that someone from the men's team requested the gear and the women's team showed up expecting someone down the line would have done it? If you want to win, it's your responsibility to make sure you have the tools you need. Okay, whatever. Blah, blah, blah. NCAA women's basketball, how it compares to men's. Blah, blah. All those misogynistic baseball fans aren't woken up to just watch layup after layup. The obvious point is you could just literally give the fucking women better equipment, and that's a problem on that association's like whatever. I'm not even going to say I'm not a basketball fan, but like I obviously support the message trying to be drawn here. There's a problem with like how that's done. Obviously, my problem is why would you put that fucking spin on it? Why would you throw yourself in that lot? Oh, I'm just telling a joke. As that more and more former men join women's sports, it'll work itself out. Also, trans women aren't women. And then we end up in that debate, which I've already covered. See, what is the end goal of what I'm supposed to take away from absorbing Steven Crowder's content? What is my resolution? What am I hoping for? And I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Do you find this funny? Do you find that like a joke? Do you find that? Like what do you like about this guy? Because he says shit like this and y'all actively defend it. And I don't get why you defend it. Look at that. I'm almost at 30 minutes now. Because I can just keep going. He does this a lot. Reactionary. That's bullshit. That's transphobic. Oh, I'm just telling a joke. It'll work itself out. How could you not laugh at that? It's not fucking funny. You could have took that same tweet and pointed like, oh, so where's the trans or where's the women's rights people now? Oh, they're more worried about trans women or something. That could have been funny. I could make a joke out of that to put light on it, as in, damn, we could really talk about the inequalities between women's basketball revenue rates or whatever, and how they like literally calculated that to give you a couple of weights while they gave the men everything because they make more money, blah, 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 this and that. You could have made that and that would have been funny. That's not funny. So former Vice President Biden sidelines dozen for pot use and fire staffers for admitting past cannabis use. Kamala Harris, this is correct.
Fairness and equity. Now, when President Harris and I took a virtual tour of a vaccination center in Arizona,
I got to look a little bit deeper into this because at the time I had more things to say on it, but at the same time that was before I took my break. But yeah, it's that's dumbass reactionary shit. I know that for a fact, but I don't want to put my foot in my mouth by saying or beginning to talk about it. I'm gonna let him have that. I'm going to let him have that. I'm just gonna let him have that. It's finally a fucking fair point.
But all kidding aside,
The first lady to be told me she holds them for you.
yes, she does, but not with she and Kamala have become friends.
Yeah.
But all kidding aside, it's a matter of the thing. We are simpatico on our philosophy of government and simpatico on how we want to approach these issues that we're facing. And so I don't have, and when we disagree, it'll be just like, so far it's been just like when Barack and I did. It's in private. She'll say, I think we should do A, B, C, or D. And I'll say, I like A, don't like B and C. And let's go, okay. And like I told Barack, if I reach something where there's a fundamental disagreement we have based on a moral principle, I'll develop some disease and say I have to resign. We don't have that. We haven't, and we discussed at length our views on foreign policy, on domestic policy, on intelligence. And the great thing is she has a background in the Senate on intelligence, the Intelligence Committee. She has a background in the Senate on.
Oh, God. He clearly said that's what he said to Obama, and if he had a fundamental disagreement with Obama as his VP, he would have resigned. He's not saying he would resign and Harris would become president. He's saying she would resign. No wonder your shit keeps getting removed. Yeah.
Extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics. We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.
And that was a quote on stopping literally the voter fraud there. Yeah, no, another out of context thing, and he's bringing it up from December 3rd, literally. He's shit. Oh, God. Do you see what I'm talking about? Even a broken clock, it keeps doing it. Lies, while the media still blames Trump for Asian. If you assault someone because, okay, this is getting a little bit deeper into it, and it's going into a segment that's going a little bit too long for my liking, but we're going to keep going anyway. If you assault someone because they're Asian, you're a racist. If you refuse admittance of a qualified student to your university because they're Asian, you are a racist. Literally, the moment of the shootings, he decides to do this. That's not wrong to you? We absolutely must. This is where I just stopped, and this is where I'll stop here today. We absolutely must put an end to the racism against Asian Americans. Let's start by eliminating the requirement of higher SAT scores, but while closing university doors on them after quotas have been met. Wow, you sincerely doubled down. How much clearer do I have to make it for you? Now, I know it's been a long ass segment. And at the end of this, you're probably just saying, well, all you're saying is conjecture and you're taking all of his opinions and stuff out of context. So I'm going to take this last minute out to drive this point home. If you like Steven Crowder, you have a problem. Because even if he were right about 100% of the things that he talks about, even his framing of being correct is rooted in at least a little bit of racism, if not xenophobia, if not something that you would generally denounce. Oh, I like all types of people. Just don't push your shit in my face. He's exasperating that to a higher degree. Outrage over a 5-year-old video, cutting edge, do the ice bucket challenge next. He dresses up as a woman. Dresses up as a trans woman to expose how trans people don't fit in with normal people. Accidentally demonstrates that almost nobody gives a shit and has to literally start throwing weights around like a child to instigate mild conflict. Oh shit, Jack Saint replied. Go off, King. You reposted that 5-year-old video to your Twitter 7 hours before writing this post. Up to 2 months ago, they weren't even allowed to serve in the military. Yep. How dare they react in real time to your posts? Yeah, it's bait. That's what I'm talking about. The saddest thing about grifters is that they're always seemingly ashamed of their own work. Like, stand up for your bigotry, dude. You were once proud of it. You were once proud of it. Once. What changed? Kind of thick, though. Yo, facts, though. From me, low. I'm ending it on that. Whoever punched Steven Crowder in the face deserve, like, I'm so happy. That's why I'm mad at him. He knows what he did. And like, breaking news, fully vaccinated people can have small gatherings indoors with other vaccinated people to continue to wear masks in public, the CDC said. People stopped. Like, if your antithesis is to own the libs, why do you exist, bro? Do something better. Educate the people. You literally go on to every single topic that you possibly can to be as reactionary and a dickhead as you can. So again, this goes back to the beginning point of what I was saying. Even if I were to take you at 110%, and then there's the video right at the bottom of the fucking screen. If I were to take you at a face value for everything that you've said, I'm still left with just hating the libs. Oh my God, the libs are terrible. Efforts to criminalize trans kids are deadly, and we need to fight back against Alabama's trans kids' lives depend on stopping this bill. To tell Alabama lawmakers, it's a lot of L's. Tell Alabama lawmakers to protect trans kids. No, kids' lives in general depend on their parents making rational, informed decisions to protect their safety and well-being. Refusing mind-altering hormones and physical sex changes qualifies. As if the parents wouldn't have to be on board with listening to their children to get to this point. As if they could make the decisions themselves. And yes, there are a few states in which kids can, go out of their, or I shouldn't say kids, teenagers can go out of their way to begin the process. Even that's 5 years. Even that is 5 years. And you have to go through rigorous screening. You have to go through this, that, and the other to even begin hormone therapy. And you know this. So even if you were being like, that's what I'm saying. Talk to a trans person. He does not talk to trans people. I feel so sorry for any kid that has you as a father. Like, at this point, it's hilarious when right-wing pundits try to tell trans folks that they are wrong about trans issues. Steven Crowder, we need to ban trans kids from taking puberty blockers because they need to go through their regular puberty. Also, Crowder, trans women can't participate in sports because they went through male puberty. It's almost as if you just don't want trans people in society. I don't see any kids protesting this, do you? And this guy's about that, like, your kids might like what they were born as, but not all do. Stephen, puberty blockers are only administered to children after having gone months or even years of consultation with endocrinologists, parents, and the child. This isn't to mention the fact that puberty blockers are reversible. I want to see one case where a little girl grows a beard and have it reversed, as you say, back to a woman. Why would puberty blockers give little girls a beard? That's testosterone. Fucking morons, bro. And they retweet the shit. Like, that's Steven Crowder. He's a reactionary dickhead. Sounds like a call of violence to me, maybe a little bit. Bath and Body Works employees got turned down for a $15 minimum, don't get free healthcare, and absolutely don't need your shit. I fully support shock and awe violence against customers who forget that in every retail and dining. Good night, folks. I'm muting this now. Y'all play nice. Remember, if you find yourself getting bum rushed by minimum wage employees out of a store mid-rant and dumped on the sidewalk, you should be asking yourself why you're such an asshole in the first place. I wonder what this nation would do if every retail customer service worker called off one day in this industry. I can't even imagine how people would lose this shit. And I bet that $15 minimum wage would get approved real quick. Yep. At my old job at a hardware store, a customer spit on me and the manager just stood there. I threw in my apron and said I was out. Like, yo. Oh, this was about that fight that happened. Yeah, see? He's picking the issue to say what he wants. Picking the issue to say what he wants. Bath and Body Works are actually has amazing employees. Every time I'm there, they're extremely friendly, helpful, and know what they're talking about. Being good at your job, no matter how useless it may seem to some people, should always be worthy enough to be paid to live. Sounds like you hear what you want too. Healthcare isn't free anywhere. Yes, it is. Way to call out some rando with 300 followers. I mean, I get where they're coming from after working in retail. Customers think they're entitled to do whatever to you. Nobody stands up for you, and the company will likely fire you if anything. But anyways, lefties use violence all of 2020 and in this year anyways. The left. The left. But the left. But the left. The left. But the left. But the left. So even if you were being serious, you're still a dickhead. Even if you were being serious, you're still a dickhead. Does Joe Biden just not know how to wear them? Like, come on, bro. I think I posted that because I just want to see that. I like answering these polls just to see the reactions. So this is going a little bit too far back because it's already going into February. What does the science tell us about repeatedly donning blackface and denying it, asking for a friend? Like, yo, just like, what? He wants, you're not far off the mark. Like, he was running off the election fraud. He was the one saying America should stand up. He's part of the insurrection issue. And he knows it. He knows it. Oh my God, you're the one who developed the vaccine under Trump. Can I have your autograph? He's literally made some calls to Clark County, Nevada on the voting irregularities. The plot thickets. Today is going to be a barn burner. Which governor sucks more? Talking about dear people from, like, come on. Biden has dementia, changed my mind. I can't believe he was the fucking guy who made that. Election fraud, he's still on that. By the way, I sincerely hope you stop serial dating exploitative men. Open a Bible and discover what love truly is. You won't find it in Hollywood. You came at Taylor Swift? That's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. As a Christian, sex before marriage with multiple people should be at least make you uncomfortable. Don't sound like a good Christian to me. LMAO, but you voted for Trump. I've seen this account before, but you're voting for Trump. But you voted for Trump. She acts like she doesn't benefit off of going through more men more than I go through shoes. Pretty much helped her whole career. Oh, God, bro. I hope Steven Crowder gets dragged to infinity. It's been 45 minutes. I'm done with Steven Crowder for today.